Welcome to my channel for the DM Divine Masculine. Please don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon. Also leave comments in the comment box. Now, today's topic, Dear Masculine, is to free yourself from the entanglements, the confinements, the subjugation, but of what? Entanglement of what? Subjugation by whom? And what type of freedom are we talking about over here? The essence of these words often carry heavy loads of ambiguity within them. So we have to first choose the perspective of discussion, the way we are going to look at the viewpoint of these words are to be decided first before we progress with the topic. Now, the decision is clear that we are talking here about the freedom of the spirit of yours, Divine Masculine. Now, dear Divine Masculine, you must remember one very significant point over here, that before discussing these attributes of freeing your soul, you must be able to clearly see your own elements that you are composed of, your elements that are dominating your moves towards your reactions towards the different, I would say, impetus of life. Basically, here I'm the masculine. I'm feeling over here, I'm seeing here is of water signs and fire signs. Water and fire, Scorpio. It could be Leo, Cancer. Aries and Capricorn could also be there. So this Divine Masculine is about whom I am speaking, to whom I am talking is now at the moment, is comprised of elements of water and fire. Now he has to understand these two elements exist within him in what proportion, and which proportion is active at which moment of his reaction. This consciousness has to be developed by you, my Divine Masculine, to whom I am addressing now. Now, divine masculine, this I will explain in detail later on, but here it is to mention first few of the points that are to be understood by you in order to achieve freedom of yourself. So this is one point, that is the element derivation of your self, that is going to contribute to the freedom of yourself. Next, that is going to contribute to the freedom of your self is of the understanding, the awareness that the warfare that as the anointed divine king that you are, at this moment you are completely anointed divine masculine, and you know that, you understand that your divine feminine reads upon you complete anointing, anointed powers, and under such circumstances you must be very sure of yourself that the warfare is not external. The warfare, the battle, the combat that is going to lead to your freedom is solely, absolutely internal. I'll give you proof and explanation of this internal reference. Now, this internal warfare takes place because the confinement of yours is actually not external, but it is internal. So this arrest that has the chains, the shackles that you have tied yourself to is within yourself. This would be the second substantiation. And the third substantiation, I would say, that as soon as you look inwards to free yourself, you must understand that within you is not those views that you can see outside. Within you is the inner elements that you have to see. So it becomes clear and obvious, there's clarity that the internal elements are confined and we have to break free from this confinement of our inner elements. Okay, of course these are the source of these are the five senses that dominate us, our characters and our thoughts and selves. Now, next point, let me first finish the important points. The elaborate discussion on each point could be in other audios and videos. These confinements are abstract in nature, that you must remember. The five senses are abstract. I mean, the confinement that is that has held you back, that has retained you for so long, is large enough, as large as the five large senses that are dominating your life, divine masculine. That is one choice that you can match your situation with. Or if not in larger form, it could also be, the confinement could also be results of specific nature. So one is a generalized nature dominated by all the five or some of the five senses that are dominating and confining you, or it could be of a specific confinement, specified nature, which means that it has resulted from a particular experience of your life to trigger a couple of these, one or two maximum, maybe mostly it is one only, and then that one leads to further mounting of this confining attribute. But first it is this under the specific experience, particular experience, it is generally one that begins with one function that operates, one sense. Now one function of one sense that operates highly. Now, this one sense that comes to confine you, it triggers, a sense of confinement. The dictum of warrants, it warrants it warns us of freedom of ourselves, because that experience might have brought either fear. If not fear, it could have brought doubt. Either one will come, and then that would lead to that would lead to some other kind, and then mounting, it would amount to furthermore. Basically, it would begin with one. So this would be of a specific manner that it starts with. Now I would come to a few points where which are the laid points by which, following which, we can get rid of the confinements within ourselves. Now, getting rid of the confinement within ourselves has nothing to do with the external life that is going on around us. So you don't have to think that you are supposed to go off. You're supposed to go off to the mountain peaks and do some kind of, I would say, solitary practice, practice of desolation, isolation. That is not required. But of course, you have to gradually practice isolating yourself while you're standing within the crowd itself. And this process could be easily done by creating a focal point. I mean, any of the chakras where you are comfortable to dwell upon, you have to dwell there while you reside, whether at home or you're in office or whether you're in any other kind of situation. The focal point must be the only residence or the dwelling of your soul, that seat, that throne, that is going to be the point where you will occupy your space, and nowhere beyond that. This is one process. Second of all, in order to free yourself, you have to understand that freeing yourself from karma is very important. So adding karma must be restricted in your life, divine masculine. Now, how will you restrict karma? Because karma has to be done every day. Now, this karma, you have to understand, is done through what process? How many kind of actions? What type of actions that can amount to karma? It can amount through thoughts. A single thought would also lead to karma. Now, thought control is very important. Then we have silence, the speech control. So that would also lead to control of karma. Then you have the process, that is dedication towards a discipline where you restrict yourself and your energy and your endeavors and maneuver it to a creative, channelized creativity. Consciously you monitor this and do not intervene in any kind of karma kind of thoughts. This is another method. And the excess energy that through meditation that you develop, that you begin to sense, must also be channelized towards some kind of creative work, some kind of work which leads to well-being of the people at large. And through this conduct of good in REM, you dissipate good actions in order to earn blessings. So your earning of blessings is catapulted to this this kind of actions, good actions. And finally, the blessing is the storage. It is the actual fund that you have to fight with bad times, with times when you will need to provide for your freedom, for yourself. At those moments, you would see that this blessing is the only fund and the earning that you are able to squander upon yourself, upon your freedom. So these things are very important that you have to remember. And next we have to continue in the next video. And I thank you for being here with me, and hope you have understood this much of self-control in an anointed condition as you stand, my divine masculine. Your divine feminine expects, I see, that you would begin a conscious practice of these actions for your freedom. The freedom which you have to bring about within yourself. It is internal. And this internal freedom, it comprises of an unaffected, I wouldn't use the word indifference. Indifference means perhaps some other kind of, it could be negative. I wish to use some kind of positive word, that is, it would mean oblivion to the conscious monitoring of desires. It's very important that you control the desire. And divine masculine, my dear divine masculine, I must remind you that whatever accrued upon you, the separation of yours with your divine feminine, is not because somebody else wanted to do something. It is because of your desire that such thing had happened. So giving up desires is very important, because if you are desiring, that vibration is going to reach out around you, ripples out around to everyone, because all the human beings are very sensitive. So they quickly pick up on this vibration. They understand that this person is desiring something else other than us, and at once they become defensive. As soon as they become defensive, it shows that they are insecure. Now you don't know to the amount of desire of yours would be, the proportion of their insecurity. So once you become desireless, the danger around you is going to be handicapped, crippled, and there won't be any reaction against your performance of duties, whether it's divine duty or it's earthly duty. This you have to keep in mind. We would discuss about this in detail wherever there is doubt, but we have to achieve this as anointed human being, as an anointed divine king. You have to master this very well, because you have to fulfill that free self of yours, who is capable of unbiased justice to every situation and every moment that he is provided to judge for, being the divine king. And your divine feminine looks forward to contribute, hold your hand as and when ordered by the Divine Father towards this progress of her divine masculine, that is you, of his progress towards his divine father, whose legacy he has to monitor, he has to take over. You don't have to leave any state, you don't have to leave any family, you don't have to segregate from anything. You have to segregate from those enemies, these obstacles that is internal, highly internal, that is binding you, I would say. And I hope you understood. It's a pleasure having been able to speak to you. Thank you, and good night, and good night, and good